Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Let me turn this a little bit. And so glad to see you all here on a Friday morning. Hope it's been a good week and hope you all have a great weekend. I am here with a special guest this morning. For those of you who didn't know, yes, she is a princess, although sometimes she looks more like a unicorn. This is Ellie.
Hi.
How are you doing this morning, Speedy?
Good.
Do you have a little snack?
Yeah, it's popcorn.
You have popcorn. Hold it over to the side. She's got popcorn. Oh, look, the green screen's making some of it disappear. It looks like it's got ants in it. So I was expecting to be alone this morning, but it's certainly always a joy to be with this sweet little girl. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do exactly. We'll see how the next few hours or minutes go, as the case may be. But I may do the stream of consciousness poetry. I may also hold off on that and just kind of hang out with Ellie for a little bit. But before we get into it, I did just want to mention a couple things. The whole reason that I'm here today, and you'll be talking soon, but the reason we're here today is because I do want to ask for support. And I hate to ask, I know I've asked before several times, but there is a lot at stake. And for those of you that know my story, you know the backstory of it all. I'm not going to go into that today, but suffice it to say that these kids definitely need a solid future, and they need to be safe physically and psychologically. That is my heart. They've been living with me for the last 6 months, and the custody situation, the litigation is moving forward shortly. I do need your support. But I am going to be doing everything I can to keep them safe. But with that in mind, we're just going to basically hang out. And this is going to be like a fundraiser time. For those of you that can't support me, I'm so glad you're still here. So please still hang out with us either way. And you can listen to Ellie chomping on her popcorn. But basically, this is going to be a fundraiser time. I'm going to hang out for a while. The ways to support me are beneath this video. If anyone can support me, please check that out if possible. There are ways to support people through YouTube. If you decide you want to support, my situation and what I'm doing, please, if you could, my preference would be not YouTube. YouTube holds your money for about 4 to 7 weeks. So if you give me a donation, I don't see it for almost 2 months. That's just the way YouTube works. So the other ways where it's, immediate are beneath this video. So, but I'll mention that a few times throughout this time. But before I do anything else more serious, I just wanted to give you a chance to talk. How are you, Princess?
Good.
Yeah. And can you tell everybody about yourself? What's your name?
Ellie.
And how old are you?
4.5.
You're actually almost 5. You'll be 5 in 13 days. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but I want to show you what I made. I made this.
Be mine. Did you make that for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, well, it making these bits go away.
Like little sprinkles?
Yeah.
Whoops, that's okay. You want to get it again?
Yeah.
Okay. And we've got some snacks here. We've got Go-Go Squeeze and apples and strawberries. I'll hold it for you. And Ellie's actually going to be here for a while with me. We're just going to kind of hang out for a little bit. But so this is her. Yep, you're right. Some of those are disappearing through the green screen. On our side, they are like a light blue, but they're disappearing.
Yeah.
So what else do you want to show us? Is that your doll?
Yeah. This my doll.
What's her name?
Her name is its name is
Did you not give it a name?
I give it a name, but I forgot the name.
Well, how about if we come up with a new name? What do you want to call it now?
The new name is. We can't do any funny names, but I have to call it a girl name.
Blurry Face?
No, that's a boy name.
Let's see. How about Schnickelfritz?
No.
Sarah?
No,
Cinderella.
I'm gonna put.
Well, you can think about it. You don't have to decide right now.
Yeah.
Show us a few more things, then I'll do some more talking.
This is my toy phone, and it has some flowers on it.
That's awesome. And one more thing.
And this is my kitty. Somebody, like, it was a Christmas present or a birthday present.
Nice. And we're going to also show some of Ellie's artwork. Let me pull this chair a little bit closer. Can you pull one of your pieces of artwork over? Here, I can bring the chair over a little closer.
But I'm going to show them these.
Okay. So what they do with their pre-K is some of her friends are like sharing toys back and forth. So these are not her toys. These are someone else's toys that she has to give back next week. But
yeah,
they're sharing.
Like, this one is this doggy is Huggy is from everyone. This one is from one of my friends called Solid, but I don't know which one.
Very nice. And I'm going to show some of your artwork. Some of her artwork is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So again, for anyone that is just joining, this was going to be, I just realized this probably isn't even going to show up, is it? Then you can actually see this. If you could see this is like a green background with a snowman, but you're only going to see the snowman. That's funny. You see what it's doing?
Yeah.
It's making the blue background disappear. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure some of your other paintings, pictures will do that too.
Yeah.
But I was going to do some free-verse stream of consciousness poetry. I may still do that. But we just wanted to start off. I'm hanging out with Ellie here.
And I did this one.
Look at that. It made your Christmas tree disappear. How crazy is that? But she did a great job on the Christmas tree.
Yeah, and it made my name. Well, it have some like the star disappear, but I don't know why.
Yeah, some of it did disappear, didn't it? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, again, for anyone joining us, we're the goal of today is just honestly just to hang out and to just sort of share the concerns. I think our artwork time is going to be basically. Let me see if I can. Hold on a second. I'm going to turn the green screen off for once. Yeah. Okay. Let's turn off that for a second while you show some artwork. Okay. So that's better. And here I can do that. I can do that so we can see your artwork better.
Yeah.
We don't have to have the green screen the whole time. So this is Ellie's Christmas tree.
Yeah, and I made this love bug.
And this is what that earlier one should have looked like. She did a great job painting her snowman. So today again it's going to be a hangout with Daddy and Ellie. Oh, is that from our Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Nice. Pull you a little closer and pull your artwork over.
Yeah.
And again, we're just going to kind of hang out. The goal is to sort of just say I appreciate the community very much, and I'm hopeful that the community will be able to support me. I do want to say thank you. I have had a very, very busy morning, but I did see that some people, some dear friends, did support me already this morning. I wanted to say thank you already for that, and I'll be getting back to you. But thank you so much for your support. And Ellie, what are you going to show us next?
Yes.
Is that like a sky?
Well, this is the blue sky, and this is red lava going, but this is just has a background of it.
Background?
Yeah.
Speaking of lava, before you show us in the picture, can you tell us a little bit more about any games that you like to play on the computer that start with the letter M?
I love to play Minecraft.
You play Minecraft?
Yeah.
And you're not even 5 years old yet?
Yeah. Like, I played, a long time ago. Owen is my big brother, and he's 10, and we were watching Huffing, but I forgot which one we were watching, and he told me about he's in Minecraft, and he built a house for me, and then I moved on to the front computer, which is the one that goes to a front door, and I play at the front computer now.
You do. You have a lot of fun playing Minecraft there.
Yeah.
And is your favorite thing to find the creepers? Is that the ones you like the most?
Yeah, because they for like.
They sure do. And there's a Minecraft movie coming out, I think, in a few weeks. Think we should go see it sometime?
Yeah.
You think that'd be fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Daddy's always, whenever I even think about going to the movies, I am one of those people that cannot stand crowds. So if I'm sitting there, and especially, you get the luck of the draw that somebody that's 6'1.5" sits right in front of you, and then you can't see the movie. I don't like to go in this crowd. So if we do end up having any way to go, it'll probably be about a month after it comes out. So we'll go for one of those matinees when it's empty. So the goal of what's on my heart today, and I'm going to be sharing possibly some free verse poetry, but just to give the context for that, the title that I picked for it was "This Is Why We Dance," and it's a bit of a melancholy concept, and I know that you say, well, dancing's not melancholy, it's fun. I'm referring more to a dance that you do psychologically after you have gone through an incredible amount of self-reflection and healing and thinking through what you want to do with your life, thinking through who you are. And I'm almost talking about it as if this is why we dance for joy with tears in our eyes. And in some ways, I was thinking it's, again, kind of changed my plans kind of changed a little bit because of Ellie being here, but that is always a good thing. I love being with her. I love spending time with her. She's pretty amazing. I mean, she's awesome. What can I say? What can I say except you're awesome? But if I was thinking about, when I thought maybe I'll change what I'm doing here today, that title actually kind of still fits. This is why we dance. We dance for them. We dance for our princess. This is why we dance, because they're worth it. And you and I dance, don't we? You dance so fast that you wear your daddy out, don't you? Oh, you should. Hold on. We'll go back to the dancing topic. Everybody, hold up. This big news here. Somebody can cross her eyes and needs to show it to you. Let's see it again. Look right up there. Oh, my goodness. You can cross your eyes better than most anybody I know. That's crazy. It's really crazy. But this is why we dance. We dance for them. We dance for ourselves. We dance because we can. And that's what's going to be in my mind if I do the free verse poetry, whether it's today or another day. We dance because we can. We dance because we've come alive and we've got more energy and power than ever before. We dance because we're tired. And we know that this is the right choice. We dance in our fatigue, through our tears. We dance because life is short and life is going into the great unknown and the great future, the great darkness, eventually without us. We dance while the sun shines. We dance while we have light. And we dance because we can, because we want to. We dance, because we're free at last. That's the kind of thing I want to talk about. So anyway, I'm going to come back to that in a second. I'm going to turn on the fan because it's getting hot here. Can you please show us some more of your artwork? And oh, beautiful. You did that?
Uh-huh.
Wait, is that red stuff coming down? That's her hair?
Yeah.
That's a long head of hair. By the way, the reason it's hot in here, if anyone hasn't heard me say this before, I have about 20 lamps. And for anyone that's thinking of doing a YouTube channel or that's thinking of at least doing an interview, what you want to do for your lighting, and my lighting isn't perfect, but I've just learned you don't want the lights right in your face. You want them to be more ambient. So you end up having them bounce off the walls if your walls aren't like a weird bright red color or something. If your walls are white or gray or a really light pastel color, you want your lights to bounce off the wall. So I have my lights bouncing off the wall, but there's like 20 of them, just because that way you don't have anything that's just glaring in your face, but you still have enough light for your camera to capture you accurately. So let's go back to the topic of dancing. When we dance, you have a habit of getting Taddy so tired because you dance so fast. What in the world gives you so much energy? Where do you get it from? I mean, how do you do it? Every time we dance, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to sit down. You're so fast, aren't you? Wait, did you just snort at me? Are you Peppa Pig? But how do you have so much energy?
Because I was born with energy.
Yeah, that's true. You were born with energy. Also, you drink a lot of Daddy's coffee, don't you?
Yeah.
How did you learn to like coffee? When I was little, I couldn't stand coffee. And every once in a while, I'd like taste coffee ice cream. And I'd be like, oh, it's okay. And it wasn't until I was like 25 that I actually learned to enjoy coffee. But you liked coffee when you were 3 years old. How did you do that? You just wanted more energy from the espresso? Are you doing something with your forehead? For anyone that's wondering why the green screen is up and not the background that's usually there, Ellie is showing off some of her artwork today, and it doesn't really show up right for a lot of them if the green screen's on. So.
And this was my erotica as I counted to 100 at my school.
You counted to 100 at your school?
Yep.
Do you think you could count higher if you had to next time?
Yeah.
What's the highest you could count to probably?
Well, I'm gonna count right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45.
35? 36?
46, 47, 48, 49,
40.
40, 41, 40, 42, 43, 44, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 61,
60? 61?
61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89.
90. Say 90.
91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100.
You did it. 100's amazing. You're getting so smart, sweetheart. So I'm going to talk for just a second. We'll go back to your art and work. Maybe you can pick the next thing you want to show us. So when I thought about just the concept of why we dance. I feel like for a lot of us, it just becomes such a different story. You know, our whole life is different. And I was reflecting with somebody in an interview yesterday that'll be posted soon about how you end up feeling like you've lived several lives within the same life, because you look at where you were as a Christian. As a Christian, you would have said, I'm never going to be an atheist. I'm never going to be an agnostic. But, go ahead.
This is a Christmas present.
Nice. Hello, Kitty.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show you some things that are inside. This is some stickers, and this is I had a little fun game too, and I don't know what this page is, but
Like a little puzzle almost, I think.
oh yeah, it is. And we got this fun game too. And I don't know what this is.
That looks like a tracing one. You trace it. Learn how to do the outline. So one more page, and then I'm going to finish my sentence.
And this is the page that I colored.
You did a great job. I love that.
But I'm going to show them one more.
Okay.
A really fun one.
There's a lot of pages in that book.
Yeah, that wasn't that one. The one that was a maze, but I can't find it.
Okay. Well, thank you for showing us. So, you know, thinking about how we often end up in a spot where in our lives, we've kind of lived like more than one life in the same lifetime. It's very weird, and it sort of puts you off a little bit, thinking like, does that mean I'm going to have this experience over and over? I mean, when you think about the idea of like a divorce, and for people, some people, end up, finding love again someday. But even, that like something like that is like your whole life is like turned upside down and you start over. But this is like your worldview, your worldview where you're thinking, this is what I believe and I know, and I'm so sure. And then it turns upside down. And I was thinking about how I didn't really change worldviews, more than once, but I certainly did just change. Life was very different from when I was, 15, 18 up to like 25, and then 25 to 35 was very different. And then there were other changes that were occurring 25 to 35 and beyond. And then obviously the deconversion starts to kick in, and that process, and life's just been so different. And you end up feeling like you're such a different person. And I think it can be, there's a lot of healing, and there's a lot of excitement about reclaiming yourself and realizing just that you were duped, and life is in some ways better than ever. And you have so much more peace. But there's also, for a lot of us at least, there's a melancholy that sets in, a melancholy that says, I've lost a lot of time. I've been very duped. I've lost a lot of relationships. And I feel more alone than ever, because I've seen people come and go, and the transience of that it can shatter you. And sometimes it's important to, like, metaphorically dance, as it were, in the dark by yourself. When I say this is why we dance, I mean in part, this is why we dance in the dark by ourselves with tears, but we dance, and we dance more firmly than ever. Oh my goodness, a rainbow? Are you kidding me? That is so beautiful.
And I did my name a rainbow.
You did. Ellie. Nice. Now, what's your full name?
Ellie St. Mary's.
No, the full one.
No.
That's not your full name?
Yeah, Ellie St. Mary's.
Okay. So apparently I was wrong. Eloise Jane Boogerface Tootsalot is not her real name. What's another one? Show us another one. And then I'll go back to what I was saying. Beautiful. Beautiful. Is that like snow on the mountain?
Yeah, this is like the snow feels really squishy and soft, and it have some sparkles on it. And this is all of this bit is just a background of it.
I love it. You are such an artist. By the way, one of the things I'm excited about is in the next, whenever, 2 or 3 years, hopefully, I'm eventually going to take a class, maybe hopefully at least a free one at first, just so I don't have to put too much into it. But someday, when funds allow, way down the line probably, I'm going to eventually try to take an animation class and take their artwork. I've got literally thousands of pieces of their artwork. I'm going to find a way to scan them in and find a way to bring them to life. So their pictures, their drawings will eventually literally dance and move and even talk. And AI may become part of that, but I may keep it more simple than that. But it's so much. They do such good work. I mean, you really are an artist, aren't you?
Yep.
And you're a good artist. You draw almost every day, I think.
Yeah, like I love to draw, but I'm not really good at it because some of the pictures artwork is better than mine, but mine is really great too.
Yeah. Your artwork is amazing. It really, really is. So going back to the dancing concept for a second, I was thinking about how, when we dance, it's a way of sort of saying that you're fighting against the darkness of whether it's depression for some people or just the sadness of a lost, relationship, your past, healing from your past, dealing with your past, all that kind of stuff. There's so much there. There's so many levels to the grief, so many layers to what you're going through. And sometimes, I remember, the concept, it was from a Christian artist back when I was in that world. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. But remember when Christian artists talked about always leaving the darkness for the light. And I believe in the context, he was actually talking about people who, were talking about, where depression was literally just like taking over, it was pretty much bringing them to their point of desperation. And it struck me like he was basically promising in this song it was like a song to his children. It's like, I will always leave the darkness for the light. And I think that's such a beautiful, beautiful commitment to just say, I don't care how bad life gets. I don't care what comes and goes in life. I am going to dance for joy. I'm going to choose light. I'm going to choose life. I'm going to choose beauty. No matter what, no matter how bad it gets, I will always wake up and fight. If you've listened to my interviews for a while, you know that at the end of it, there's a song that I've picked to put as the wrap-up song. And in that, he says, everything might be lost, but I'm not going out without a fight. And that is certainly true on many levels of my life right now. But it's true in general. You have to find a way to dance when you don't feel like it. Hey, look at that. Is that a sunrise? Sun rays?
It is sunset.
Sunset. I love it. Beautiful. You are amazing.
And this bit, like this really red bit is like I'm pretending that it really hot.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. You know what? I was just thinking, we talked about you singing. Did you have any songs you thought of?
Sail away. Sometimes I really want to sail away. And Paris today. Is there a place I can sail away?
Beautiful. Beautiful job, Abby. we're going to actually, in a little bit, we're going to do a little bit where you're a goof. We're going to do some of the songs that we sing. I've got a channel that's it's more just a personal channel. It's not like something I ever really expect to grow in any significant way, perhaps. But I've got a channel called Harmonic Super Kids, and I've got some songs here we'll probably sing together a little bit. And I haven't played that at home in a while. I used to play it like all the time. Haven't played it in a while, so you might not remember some of the words, but we'll probably sing some of that in a little bit. Can you sing us just a simple one, like
La hi
where you know all the words?
Maybe not all of them, but some.
How about like Twinkle Twinkle, or How Much Is That Dog?
Or maybe You Are My Sunshine.
Perfect.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, and it's quite so gay. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Beautiful. Amazing.
I'm gonna do.
Hold on, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Do you know who's my sunshine?
Me.
How did you know that?
Because you said it all the time. And then I figured out that I'm your sunshine. I'm Ian, Abby, Ian, Owen, Ian, Ethan.
Yeah. Let me bring your snack over. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
In case you want some apples and strawberries too. And olives. I got you olives too. She's got a whole smorgasbord here. Olives, popcorn, apples, strawberries. Can you tell everybody what place do we sometimes go? I'm going to describe it to you and see if you can think about where I'm talking about. It's a place that has sand. It's a place that has water. You'll never guess. How did you guess? How did you know that? But Lake Lanier is about 20 minutes north of us. We go to a specific part of it called Mary Alice Beach, and it is just beautiful. Certainly not the same thing as like a beach that goes on forever, but it goes on pretty far. It's a pretty big beach for us. But what often happens is if you go early enough, there's just no one there. So in the summer when the sun's up at 5:30 in the morning, and it's you can, if as long as you're getting up early by 6:30 and be there by 7, the sun's up. The sun's even almost hot at that point, burning, and everyone else is in bed, and so you got this beach all to yourself. I've done that many times over the last few years we've been here. But do you like Lake Lanier?
Yeah, cause there were really there was a walk, and the walk is really fun because anytime we go there and we go on that walk because Ethan and Abby asked, and we go down that walk, and I found a lighter for Ethan, and we had so much fun there. Then we go back on the walk to go to the normal side.
And what do you like to eat before we go to Lake Lanier?
Donuts.
Donuts. Do you know that I go nuts for your donuts? What is it's got a weird name. Where do we go for when we get donuts?
It's
called Dutch
Monkey Donuts.
Dutch Monkey Donuts. And it's, if anyone's anywhere near Atlanta, if you ever get to go through, it's in the the north side of the perimeter, but it's up in a few minutes above us on the way to Lake Lanier. But Dutch Monkey Donuts is absolutely amazing. If you've never heard of it, I'm sure you wouldn't if you're not from around here. But look them up sometime on Facebook. Dutch Monkey Donuts, it'll pop right up. Their donuts are like the donuts that you've always, like, in the back of your mind thought, why doesn't someone make these? But they do. They actually do. So they have one that's like Boston cream, but it's coffee buttercream inside. They have donuts wrapped in bacon. They have donuts with bananas on top, with peaches and cream on top, raspberries. They have Nutella donuts, just all the stuff you'd think that, you know, anybody that makes donuts would be making forever. So they're really, really good. We love them. But you know what? This little girl, despite the fact that there's like 30 different kinds of donuts, what kind do you always get?
Sometimes I get the chocolate kind with sprinkles, and sometimes I get the strawberry. Raspberry with sprinkles.
But pretty much almost always, since you were born, it's always pink with sprinkles, isn't it? You were in a pink dress today with doggies.
Yeah.
Are those doggies? Yeah, they are doggies, right?
Yeah, they're Mason's puppies because they have the black dots on them.
A Dalmatian plantation, I say. A Dalmatian plantation. I'm going to read a few comments here, and we'll get back to some of Ellie's artwork. Riley, I have to work, but I wanted to express my love and support to you and your children. Thank you so much. I signed up with you on Patreon a few months ago to try and help you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Excellent Agnostic, great to see you here. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Cloud9 salutations. Thank you so much, Cloud9. Thank you, Cheryl. Thinking about you, Tim, Ellie. That little girl is so beautiful. Somebody said that little girl is so beautiful. Oh, no. As she does that? Oh, my goodness. Good morning, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us. Ellie, she says, Ellie, your doll has cool blue hair.
And purple.
And purple, yeah. Oh, your family is amazing. Thank you so much, JB. Appreciate that very much. Laura says, awesome artwork, Ellie.
The most artwork.
Yeah, you can bring up Elma.
This is a Christmas one that I did somewhere. And this is just a back one. Like this, I did, but this back one, this back is just has a pretty background of it.
I love it. So we're going over a few more quick comments here. JB, thank you so much for your super chat. Says thank you for all the amazing work you do, freeing people's minds from the shackles of religion. Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And again, for anyone that's just joining, my goal was to do, the house is upside down. Everyone inside is going to be very, very confused about whether they're on the floor or the ceiling. I'm just going to do some free verse poetry. I may still do it. We'll see how the time goes. But I just wanted to kind of hang out a little bit and say I need your help. I really do. So let's see here. Laura says, dance, dance, dance. Do you like to dance?
Yeah.
You are a good dancer. You really are. Cloud9 says, I love coffee too. What do you like? You're the one that doesn't like whipped cream on the coffee, aren't you?
Yeah, but I like it when it more when it more foamy out. Like I don't like it when it all plain when it don't have any of the foam in it, but I like it when it lots of foam in it.
Yeah, you don't like the whipped cream, but you like the latte texture.
Yeah.
Or cappuccino texture. Great job counting to 100, Ellie. They say good job. Awesome, Ellie. Maverick, being frank, says you don't have to dance in the dark as an atheist. Well, again, I'm being metaphorical, poetic, but I think for a lot of us, we feel like there's no choice. When you feel like, number one, you're sort of dancing in the dark of the reality of space and the universe, which is, our minds are realizing it's a lot bigger than we ever thought. We can't even imagine how big it is, but it's still, for what we can picture and imagine, we realize that, the planet is dancing in the dark, and that we are a speck of something on that planet that's dancing in the dark. So, as it were, this planet is doing that. We certainly are doing that, but existentially, experientially, when you realize that the people that you just knew that they were going to be by your side forever, till the day you die. They're your friends. They're your loved ones. They care about you. And suddenly, you don't believe in their demigods, so they're gone. They're gone. And that's the way it is. The Bible clearly says, Jesus clearly says, you have to love him more than anybody else. And that's true. Oh, Maverick being Frank says you don't have to dance in the dark as a theist. Okay, so you're mistyping. If you say you don't have to dance in the dark as a theist, that's self-deception. That's mythology. I would rather, the unexamined life is not worth living. So I'm not sure if a Maverick being Frank is a troll yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's if you think you're not dancing in the dark because of Yahweh, you're very, very, very self-deceived. Just started reading Divorcing from Religion. That's awesome. Yep. Janice Selby, I've got that connection right. Please do support Janice. It's great work. Janice Selby is doing awesome work, so please support her book and her channel. Apostate Babe says, a heart, and I heart you, Rainbow. Yep. I love you, Rainbow. Absolutely. Animating your children's artwork is a wonderful idea. Yeah, I'm excited. If I had like what do they call canvases, they would fill canvases up 2 or 3 a day. It's like I do what that's expensive. So what I do is like the card stock paper, which is thicker than just thin paper, so it's going to last. But you got a big pack of it at 200 pages or something, so they can still do some artwork that's going to last. But if I ever had canvases out, they'll go through 10 canvases in an hour. It's crazy. They love artwork, and so I'm like, yeah, let's make it into something beautiful. I dance because it's better than the alternative. Yeah, and in some ways, perhaps we would say that the alternative is to cry, but I feel like it's important to be honest enough to say you can cry while you dance. You can dance and cry out of honesty, but also the tears can be tears both of sadness and grief, but also of hope. People do sometimes cry when they're happy. There's reasons that people cry when they at a proposal, or they cry when something really good happens because the joy is overwhelming, and we can have the mixture of those emotions for sure. So cute. Someone said you're cute. Is that true?
Yeah.
You're not really that cute, are you?
I am.
Who gave you all that food?
Yeah.
Now, I only give nice food like that to kids that I love.
You already like eating.
Do you think I love you or something?
You don't.
Oh, no. Ellie loves to mess up Daddy's hair. Oh, you know what? We should tell them. Do you have, like, just a little tangles or a lot of tangles in the morning?
A lot.
A lot of tangles. So we're gonna get the trimmer out. We're just gonna take all that hair off tonight. Should we do that?
No.
Reminds me of the song "Sailing" by Christopher Cross. Yeah, the song she was singing. If anyone doesn't know, it's actually I really have come to like this group. But the song is called "Sail Away." Let me see if I can get it up here.
So, well.
Sail Away by Lovely the Band. Lovely the Band. Sail Away. Great song.
But can I get the bag of my hair?
Oh, yeah.
Cut it off?
Yeah, it's right there underneath the thing. You got it?
What?
Thank you, Stephen. So cute and adorable. Did it drop? Watch your head.
I know.
Don't bonk your noodle. I'm going to get it?
I'm just going to see it.
Here, I can reach it for you. It got down in between the chairs, didn't it?
Yep.
Okay, pop back up here, and I'll push you in. Okay. All right. So Ellie wanted to show you, since we're talking about haircuts.
That's my hair.
Here, hold it right in front of the green screen, right in the middle, right between us. Like here, that way. That's her hair. It's a little bit curly, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you think we should maybe do it a different color, like purple and pink? We could make it so it matches your baby doll.
Or maybe we could put we could put a thing around my head and like it really long, and then put chocolate all over my hair with nothing in my hair. Like if I take the hairband, then we put around a thing that keeps my head not chocolate. And if we put chocolate all over my hair, and then put like chocolate on my hair, and then raspberry chocolate on my hair, then it would be so crazy.
That would be absolutely nuts. You have such a good imagination, though. You really do. I love what you come up with. Oh, are you going to fly away? Be careful, you might hit the ceiling. We have Voodoo Donuts in Portland. Nice. Voodoo Donuts. I like that. Let's see here. You want to grab another drawing?
Yeah.
I figured out what I'm sending you. It's going to be fun for the kids. Thank you so much, Stephen. Appreciate that very much. Lake Lanier, cool. Yeah. If anyone's in this area, some cool beaches. And is that a drawing? Now, you put your name on the back of that. Now, you didn't obviously take that picture, but you wrote your name. She's really good at writing her name, aren't you?
Yeah, but a little bit bent, but I don't care if it bent.
Your picture? Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Cloud9 says, I'm already a fan of Ellie. The people like you. Do you think you're a likable person? Hey, I have a question for you. Do you remember, is it Rapunzel with the long hair?
Yeah.
Do you think you'd ever want your hair that long, where it goes down like to your ankles?
Well, I would like it down like right here, but not down all the way here.
Like halfway down your back?
Yeah, like
cool.
that far down, but I want you to cut it a little bit at the bottom, so it would be not that far down.
We could really make some braids if you had hair that long, couldn't we? We could like braid it in little things and pull the braids together. Yeah,
and then I could put a bow in the back, one of Abby's bow, or a pink one of her any color. And then we could put a hairband at the top, like this one, on my pink one. And then I could put a really fancy dress on. And then I could go somewhere, like to the ball or where Cinderella go to. I'm really a prince.
You're crazy. Well, I wanted to give a preface to, I might do still the free verse poetry. I'm not sure if I've got the time based on our chatting here, but I just want to say for free verse poetry, for anyone that's thinking of doing it, it's been transformative to me in some ways to kind of, like if you're imagining you're just taking a walk and you're kind of talking to yourself, just to kind of start talking and let it flow. And I'm sure we all do it in different ways, but what are you doing? You are a goof. You know that? But, sometimes, like out of the mouth of babes, wisdom comes. Sometimes out of the mouth of your pain and you're just the meandering of your thoughts, amazing things come. And whether I do get to do the free verse poetry today or I do it, in a few days, either way, I do just want to say, in some ways, free verse poetry, it's an invitation to say to yourself, this doesn't have to be perfect. This doesn't have to be polished. Life isn't polished. Life isn't perfect. Nobody's polished and perfect. We're all just trying to get through another day. We're all just trying to figure it out. We're all just trying to get a little bit more light, a little bit less darkness. Oh, I love you. Very nice. Did you put those stickers on there?
Yeah, and one of the Charlottes helped me do it.
One of the Charlottes?
Yeah, like I did this one and one of the Charlottes did that one, and I did that one. She did that one, I did that one.
That's a lot of hearts.
Yep.
Can you show me one of your drawings that you did, like where you actually did everything?
Well, I did that, but
hold up so you can see.
I did that, but like a little balloon, but I didn't do the line down because the teacher rang the bell and I couldn't do it on time.
Yeah. The teacher rang the bell.
Yeah.
Can you show us one that you did where you did the whole thing? By the way, for anyone joining us late, the green screen's up because Ellie's artwork won't show right if we do it the other way. Okay, let's see it. That's a big one. Did you do that one or did Abby do it?
This one is when I did it on my own.
Did Abby help you write the names or did you do the names?
Abby helped me did her names, but I did the names, but Abby helped me a little on the flower, a little bit on the flower.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, like this one is Abby, this one is my because I have my name on the side and Abby's name on the side.
Very nice. And can you imagine though, if Daddy can learn how to animate your pictures? You know what the animate means?
No?
It means I'm going to make them come alive. It means, you see these little people?
Uh-huh.
Those little people will be like cartoons that walk and talk. Daddy's going to figure out how to do it.
Like, you're going to make these real and real?
Yep. This picture will be big this way and this big that way. It'll be yellow flowers and all that. Either way, it'll fill the whole screen up and those little people will start to talk and dance. Daddy's going to...
Even play?
They'll play? Who knows? Oh my goodness, you're silly. You know, life isn't perfect. Poetry doesn't have to be perfect. And I think there's a point of saying that, you know, part of why we dance, if you could argue it this way, part of why we dance is to learn how to dance. Part of why we dance is because we're not very good at dancing. We dance because we can. We dance because, you want me to help you?
Yeah.
We dance because we want to learn how to dance. And I don't mean, of course, they're actually dancing. I mean, you know, real dancing is wonderful too, but I mean, dancing this dance of life, dancing in your heart, dancing in your mind. We dance because we don't know how to dance. We live because we don't know how to live. We run because we want to learn how to run. And so many of us, you know, like the Matrix says, you've never used your eyes before. That's why they hurt, because you've never used them before. You've never seen this world. You've never seen yourself for real. And what a beautiful thing to dance, knowing that it really doesn't matter if you're good at it. It's just good for you. And you do get better at it. And it's amazing to me how you get, as time goes on, as you move further and further past the deconversion timeframe, you really do get to a point where you get more grounded. You get so much more grounded, and you find yourself able to deal with life in a very different way because you see reality so differently. And you know what the priorities are and what they're not. You know what's at stake. You know the carrot and the stick that's no longer there. And yet you know that there are rewards in this life for making certain choices. And especially the primary choice for so many of us is to rediscover ourselves and to learn to love ourselves and to learn to love our lives as they are, despite our powerlessness to get everything that we want or to do everything we want. That despite the storms, you can be yourself. And in so many ways, we dance. We dance to learn how to live. We dance to heal. We dance for them. We dance because they're worth it, aren't they? Do you remember Itsy Bitsy Spider? Speaking of Itsy Bitsy Spider, we've seen that on YouTube a lot. What is your favorite show to watch? And whatever you do not say anybody that sails on a boat and fights coconuts. Don't say that one.
Moana 2 and Moana 1.
You like Moana? She's been enjoying Moana a lot. And then there's another one called Inside
Out.
And they have, it's Joy and sadness, anxiety, ennui. What's any other? Anger.
And embarrassment, and the one that really bored and that had.
That's ennui. Yeah. And he's just always annoyed at everybody.
Yeah, and Zoika who's that
Sadness.
No, the purple one.
I'm not sure. I'll look it up. But that's actually really good. If anyone hasn't seen that, I know it's a kids movie, but honestly, it has some really good like life lessons to it. Let's see here.
The purple one is the really bold one.
Which one is it? Hold on, let me go back.
Okay.
Whoops. We're just looking at the characters of Inside Out. Give us 1 second here.
Not that
Oh,
one.
Fear?
No,
Fear's purple.
A different one. Or this one. Yeah, that one.
That's ennui, I think.
Yeah, and we Serenia's called ennui. Really.
Yeah. And I recommend just, I've said this before many times, but I do recommend that when you go through this process of healing, that you do spend a lot of time talking to yourself about how this is a psychological process. And I was interviewing yesterday an ex-Mormon therapist out in Utah. Great interview. I can't wait to publish it. So many good insights. But we were just reflecting on how in so many ways, this journey is about seeing the fact that there are roots of this worldview that we escaped from that are so hard to see. In fact, they're almost so invisible you have no way to pull them out of your psyche because they're so invisible, they're so embedded, they're so deep, they're so interwoven, especially when you had it from the earliest days and it's generational, where this is part of not just what you were taught, but it was like what your parents and your grandparents and their grandparents were taught. When it goes way back. Yes. You're a goof. When it goes way back, it's almost like it's in your DNA. And I don't know if that's technically possible, but just saying it's at least metaphorically in your DNA. It gets to a point where you have to say to yourself, I'm going to really have to do some hard work here. Really hard work to move this ball forward. It's worth the effort, but you do have to get to a point where you end up saying, I can acknowledge this was mythology. I can acknowledge it was toxic, but I have literally just begun the process. So I'm going to, let's see here. Do you want to show a few more pieces of artwork before I give a stab at some of my thoughts? Oops. Oh no. That's okay. I'll get them. You stay here.
I made this. Oops, I put it upside down. This really made that cool. And just something, but I didn't realize that this was on the back of it.
Let me see this one again. Is that like that? How do you hold it?
Upside down.
Like that?
This way, yeah.
What is it? Is it a butterfly?
This is
Hold it in the middle so they can see it.
This big hole is like the middle of it is the body, and these little lines that go down is part of the body, and the outsides of it are the wings, and this little heart is just is upside down of the head.
You are both creative and goofy all at the same time.
And it had one Nutella at the head.
Nice. I had a thought. Let's sing for them one of our songs. Let's see here. Remember, today we loved each other well. Want to try it? We have sleep songs from Harmonic Super Kids.
Yeah.
Today we loved each other well. Today we loved each other well. Loved each other well. Loved each other well. Today we loved each other well.
I'm a gorilla.
Today we helped each other well. Today we helped each other well. Helped each other well. Helped each other well. Are you King Kong? Today we helped each other well. We go on to talk about how we heard, not hurt, but heard, H-E-A-R-D. We heard each other well. We blessed each other well. We forgave each other well. And we end again with we loved each other well. So that's a good one. Oh, you know this one?
Yep.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you know. Oh, I hope you know.
How much your daddy loves you so.
I see your smiling face. I see your lovely eyes. You dance around the room.
Like butterflies.
Does anybody
Even
know?
I made a butterfly today.
You did?
Not today, but on my one of my school days.
Okay, like yesterday. Does anybody know? Does anybody know how much your daddy
Loves you so.
You grow up big and fast and learn more every day. I love to see your joy as you read and play. Oh, I hope you know. Oh, I hope you know how much your daddy loves you so. You color, draw, and cut. You make amazing art. You tell me it's for me as you melt my heart. Does anybody know? Does anybody know how much your daddy loves you so? When the day is done and you get in bed, I wish you sweet dreams as you rest your head. Oh, I hope you know. Oh, I hope you know how much your daddy loves you so. Remember, I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'll love you to the very end. Another day to spend with you. My favorite kind, oh yes, it's true. Another day to see your smile and sit together for a while. Are you crossing your eyes at me again? To see you play and watch you spin. Your twinkling eyes and your silly grin. What a joy and a delight. Your lovely face, a precious sight. Are you crossing your eyes again? You're distracting me. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
We walk together side by side, where our wandering feet decide. Strolling by the lake with you, clouds so white and sky so
Blue.
we smile and laugh now and then, telling stories we pretend. Adventures glorious and grand, in the air, the sea and land. Journeys long and full of fun, loving hearts and full light of sun. The very best part of every day, being next to you as we play. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'll love you to the very end. And let's see here.
I love the popcorn.
Let's see here. Remember, everything that's mine is yours?
Yep.
My life is your life. My home is your home. My warmth is your warmth. And my heart belongs to you. Everything I am, everything I own, everything I ever hope to be and do, it's all for you. It's all to you. Everything that's mine is yours. My joy is your joy. My strength is your strength. My love is your love, and I love you. Everything I am, everything I own, everything I ever hope to be and do is all for you, is all to you. Everything that's mine is yours. My time belongs to you. I will listen and care. My hugs are all yours, and all my kisses too. Everything I am, everything I own, everything I ever hope to be and do is all for you, is all to you. Everything that's mine is yours, except my chocolate. Wherever I may be, whatever I may do, no matter where I am thinking of you. Everything I am, everything I own, everything I ever hope to be and do is all for you, is all to you. Everything that's
mine is yours.
nice. And we got one little teeny song left from our 99 songs. I'm going to start singing it. You tell me if you remember it. It's been a while. I have joy in my mind. I have light in my eyes. I have love in my heart because of you. And I love you, I love you, I love you with all my heart. You're the sunshine of my day, starlight of my night, the delight of my life in every way. And I love you, I love you, I love you with all my heart. Fun stuff.
I want to play Minecraft now.
You want to go play Minecraft? Do you want to show us any more artwork before you go?
I'm going to show you one more.
Okay, whatever you want to do.
Just really beautiful one.
Is that someone with really long purple hair?
Yeah. And I don't know. I did this one at school.
With stickers? Can you show us one where you did it all, where it's no stickers?
Those aren't stickers. These also has paper hearts.
That you glued on? Okay. Show us one where you did everything. That's a good one. Yeah. That's crazy.
I did this one on my own when I was 3.
Can you imagine if I could make those come to life?
Yeah.
Someday. We'll get there. Well, do you have anything else you wanted to say or sing or talk about before you go play Minecraft? Want to sing any more songs? Tell us anything more about yourself?
I forgot to sing Blurry Face. My name's Blurry Face and I can't you think.
That's a good one. That's 21
That's a bit.
of that song.
Yeah.
Wish we could turn back time.
Time to the good old days. And the man who say, I still sleep, but now it's just out.
Oh, we could turn back time.
Time to the good old days.
How about
I him for said I was eyes. My mother said that I was eyes that go water so blue and it's told me night, but the water so blue as get me hurt. 'Cause I'm up in the ones before I'm full in the sea and I'm running so every step of we hope one heart. I'm a map on the ones of my size.
you're amazing. Love you, babe. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Come back if you want to have fun playing Minecraft. Love you, darling.
Love you.
Okay, so we're going to switch gears a little bit here. Let's get back to, oops, not that one. It's not Christmas time. So stand up here. That was good. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing Ellie. She's a delight, absolute delight. And I'm just doing get my desk up higher, so pardon me while I adjust. It's funny, when I was like first doing, jobs where you sit down at your job, I was used to sitting down all day, like all my coworkers. And what ended up happening was, at one point I read something about standing up, how important it is to stand up at work. And I got permission to do it. And there weren't standing desks then, but I built like a little platform, which they were gracious enough to let me do. And when I did it, once I started to do it, you eventually get to a point where it's like, at first it hurts when you're like, I'm going to stand up for 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, like straight like that. And it hurts. It really does. If you hurt your back first for the first month, but your body adjusts to get used to it. And eventually it gets to a point that it goes the other way, where it hurts to sit down. It's funny. It's really funny how it works. So excuse me while I adjust here. Now, I'm not sure if I'll go the full 3 hours or not. That's what he said. But I am going to, number one, I'll probably take a break in a little bit and come back, just put up a little screensaver and come back in a few minutes, just check on Ellie and all that. But what I thought I would do, I'm going to catch up on comments, and then I'm going to just see how this goes free-verse. I'm not sure if I'll do the whole time with it the way I imagined, especially with having the first hour cut back. It might be difficult to get it all done. But I'm just going to, do my best, give it a shot. All you can do is try, right? See how it goes. But let me see here what comments we've got. Let's see here. Ellie made my day. Thank you, too. Absolutely. Thank you, Cloud9. Just listen to Sail Away by Lovely the Band. Yeah, they've got some good stuff. The Tao Te Ching is poetic in the translation. Yep, I'll agree with that. We have dance and music, and invisible God is not necessary. Life is beautifully flawed. Yeah. Oh my God, we dance to heal. We dance to learn how to live. Tim spent delicious truth this morning. Tattoo ideas. Well, be careful about tattoos. I've heard it's difficult to take them off. So don't get me in trouble by getting you a tattoo or something that you'll regret a week later. But I agree that, all kidding aside, there's some things that come out of your head. Just not me, all of us. There's things that come out when you really start to sit and think through what's happened to us. It's hard to not get profound for all of us and poetic. It's what this journey does to us. This situation does that to us. It's pretty amazing. Escaping generational trauma. Inside Out is pretty profound. Yeah, it's got some great stuff there. I am also an egalitarianist, my friend. Peel my eyes from the phantom prize, grab a slice of life, goodbye pie in the sky, hello slice of life. Yep, I like that. I also have Christian problems, but not Christian compassionate. Some people say I hate religion, but I love Jesus. I don't. Jesus is irrelevant. To say I love Jesus. Jesus said horrible things. He said most of the world's going to go burn in hell. He called women dogs. He said, I'm only here for Israel. Let everybody else not hear about me. I don't want them to believe. He said awful things. He said, I want your family split apart. I want to bring a sword and split your family apart. I want you to follow me and walk away from your family. Love me. If you don't love me and hate them, you're not worthy to be my disciple. Jesus is not just irrelevant. He's toxic. He's really toxic. I look very Scandinavian. I'm not sure exactly what the Scandinavian look is, but I'll take that as a compliment. Kids grow up fast. This is an important time. Yeah. Some atheists believe in God, like energy, life source. Yeah, some atheists do. Ellie is turning 5 in a few weeks. She turns 5 before the month's out. So she's 4 9/10. If God is not an energy life source, then what else could God possibly be? I'm not sure. I don't want to take too much time to answer any deep questions or to distract from what I was going to do. But I will just say, I think the more important piece for my life is not necessarily what he could be, because that's a question I don't know that we'll ever answer in our lifetime, if it's even really the right question. But I think the right question for us to start from is simply what he's not. He's not Yahweh. He's not Jesus. Yeah, humans definitely achieve. She'll not quite 7, but yep, she's almost 5. She's a sweetheart though. I'm gonna skip some of these those comments. Ellie's almost 5. Yep. Thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate that very much. So again, I'm gonna do this. I've got some notes I'm reading through. I've got some ideas on paper, but some of this is going to be, it's kind of as it comes. I'm going to try to look as well. I'm sure there'll be probably people in the chat, like that I'll need to take a minute to look at that in terms of the trolls. But I'm just going to give it a shot. Again, part of free verse poetry, part of stream of consciousness is saying it doesn't have to be perfect, and saying, you know what, it might come out of my mouth wrong because it's free verse. Who knows? It might come out wrong. I might say to myself, "Oh, shouldn't have said it that way," or that just doesn't sound right, or "Oops, I said that already." Give yourself the freedom to be poetic. Give yourself the freedom to be mistakenly poetic. There's beauty in this. So this is why we dance. There's a moment. There's a moment. There's definitely a moment. A breath caught between past and possibility. Suspended in the aching hush of a universe that's holding its tongue. A heartbeat held captive in golden stillness. Quivering with the weight of something vast. Something both ancient and new. Suspended between memory and becoming. Between the weight of the past and the pull of the possible. As if existence itself has paused. Standing at the threshold of its own awakening. A quiet, almost imperceptible moment. The calm before the awakening. Before the first breath of recognition. Before the whisper of destiny stirs deep inside you like a pulse forgotten but not extinguished. A rhythm waiting to rise. Before your name is written again in the language of your own choosing. As if it were etched on the sky. It's like a soft breath in the stillness of night, where time seems to fold in on itself, where the air buzzes with something unseen, where silence presses and closes in like an old companion, heavy with an unspoken longing. A hush, laden with the echoes of everything unsaid, everything unfinished, everything that was once caged deep inside you, waiting for release. And there's a moment. There's a moment, the kind that hums with all that you didn't know was missing, with echoes of a life unlived, but still waiting. Coiled in the dark, like a sleeping storm, trembling in its slumber. A forgotten ache that you mistook for peace. A hunger misread as stillness. A thirst mistaken for absence. A yearning so woven into your bones that you carried it unknowingly. Like a ghost stitched into your skin. Like a phantom song that never stopped playing beneath the surface. That you mistook for the absence of pain instead of the presence of something yet to be found. When the music starts again, after a long silence, it is not just sound. It's a summoning. It's a thunderous return. It's the unearthing of something buried, but never truly lost, rising from the dust, shaking off the quiet, stepping into itself with audacity, threading through the hush like an old friend calling you home. Its melody a bridge between the self you were and the self you are becoming. A song sung by your own bones, echoing back through your life, even answering the voices of those who walked before you. Weaving through the spaces where your captivity once reigned. Filling the hollow places inside you that you once carried like relics, like hollowed ruins, waiting for a breath to restore them to life. Waiting for a movement, for a heartbeat, for a voice that won't be hushed any longer. There's a moment, the kind that echoes with promises, long buried seeds beneath the frozen ground. Promises whispered in the dark and left to dream beneath the weight of winter, where even the cold could not steal them, and the frost cannot erase their existence. Waiting. It's as if the stars themselves have been watching this whole time, and as if the sky has been part of who you are. It's as if all of time and existence is holding its breath, waiting for the real you to arrive, knowing that it's such a brief moment, a fraction of a second, just waiting to bear witness to you. And the music grows. It might seem barely audible at first, but it is discernibly there. A vibration stitched into the quiet, a pulse beneath the skin of this world, as if it's threading through your fingertips, curling against your throat, waiting to be sung. It's a rhythm that has never really ceased. It's only softened, it's only slept, it's only held back until we were ready to hear it. It's this pulsing in the quiet, in the dark, this vibration that's deep within us, low and knowing, older than language, thrumming inside us like an untold story, aching to be spoken, like an ember of a fire too stubborn to extinguish. It's like a forgotten language. It's just stirring on the tip of your tongue. A song that's just waiting to be sung, urging. It's like the space between heartbeats, trembling with possibility. It's like the moment before the tide rushes forward, like the quiver of a flame before it leaps higher, like the pause between when you inhale and exhale, where all that you are gathers together, embraces itself to fly. It's a kind of hope, a hope for dancing that you hadn't known existed. It's not loud. It's not demanding. It's just like this gentle insistence, a quiet knowing that something has shifted, that the ground beneath you is no longer still, that the air around you has begun to change, that the axis of your world has begun to turn in a direction that you can finally claim as your own. It's as if the gravity of this religion has finally loosened its grip, and it's as if the stars have spoken your name. It's like the moment right before sunrise, but softer and deeper, and like the first ripple on still water. It's like a tide that's being pulled out by something deep. It's like a slow unfurling, like the stretch of new wings before the wind first lifts them. It's the steady awakening of something that has been waiting, patient and unshaken for this exact moment, when you learn to dance and find your why. The world seems to hold its breath for what comes next in your story, for the miracle of you choosing to move forward, of stepping into your own gravity, of answering your own call. When standing still, as you've done for so long, unknowingly, has been both a refuge and a prison. It's been a sanctuary and a cage, a contradiction of safety that stifles, of comfort that chains, of silence mistaken for belonging. It's almost fragile, like a whispered secret. It's like a feather that you balance on your open palm. Sort of weightless, but real, delicate, certainly impossible to ignore. A candle, a single candle flickering against the weight of the dark, not yet ready to roar into a flame, but still defying the void. It's a very small and steadfast rebellion. A promise made that's intended to be kept. It's the space between what was and what could be. And the first step toward freedom, you've taken it before you even realize that you moved. The fear inside you is beginning to bow to the fire in your bones. And the ember of your inner voice can no longer be smothered. There's this untamed rhythm that demands to be heard and invites you to dance. You feel your heart. You feel your heart beat quietly, but distinctly, gently reminding you with every steady thrum that you are still here. You are more than the silence that has held you so strongly for so long. You are more than the echoes of what has tried to keep you so small. You are more than the gravity of everything that you were told to fear regarding this life and the supposed life to come. Telling you that you are still here. It's telling you you are still whole, even after everything, even after the lights went out, even after breaking, even after forgetting, even after thinking you'd been lost beyond recognition. It's as if the lostness was ever anything more than the prelude to discovery. You once were lost, and now you're found. You once were blind, and now you see. You are showing that you are alive in a new way that feels like waking up, that feels like remembering a forgotten song. It's like a melody that's always been inside you that's just rising, almost unbidden. It's familiar, but it's new. It's as if it had been just waiting for your voice and your mind to reclaim it. It's as if it had always known you would find your way back. Find your way back to you. Find your way back to the dance. It's so heavy with meaning. It's thick with the weight of something undeniable. It's almost the kind of song that you don't sing, but you feel it. It moves through you like wind through your open hands, like fire in your bones. It's a quiet thunder that's echoing throughout you in the rhythm of your breath after breath, breathing in and out in that moment before each heartbeat. It feels in some ways like the kind of song that's been written in you since the beginning, just waiting for you to listen. It's woven into you, into your very being. It's not composed or created, but it's remembered. It's waiting for you to claim it. Before you were caged in doctrine, before you were weighed down by expectation and fear. It's like an inner light that's blooming in your mind. It's unfolding, it's expanding, it's turning into something too wild to be contained, too luminous to be dimmed. And as you realize the chains have fallen away, not suddenly, not in one great shattering, not all at once, not in the fanfare of breaking metal, but in the quiet, unnoticed way that rust finally gives way to the air, and that decay yields to rebirth, that time and truth undo what was once thought to be unshakable. These were handcuffs that you once mistook for jewelry. They were worn like heirlooms. This was your inheritance of submission, polished with reverence and piety. It was a burden mistaken for a blessing, a weight mistaken for a birthright, an anchor confused for an altar. Adorned with scripture, polished with obedience, but never yours, never really belonging to you. Not truly concerned about you either, only trying to control you and distract you. It was a prison crafted by careful hands that taught you that chains were crowns. They were burnished brightly with this illusion of virtue, with a false sense of belonging that was always conditional. This was always a leash in disguise. And you believed them, because how could you have known otherwise? How could you have questioned what was handed to you as holy, as ordained, as the only way to be worthy, the only path to light? These became chains that you worshipped with pride. You ran your fingers over them like holy relics. You kissed them in silent gratitude, not knowing that they bound you, not seeing the system for what it was, mistaking captivity for calling, devotion for duty, and duty for destiny, mistaking surrender for salvation, smallness for sanctity, mistaking myth for reality, not knowing it was ever and always nothing more than captivity, dressed in gold, a shackle disguised as sacred, a prison made beautiful by repetition and fear, by the stories you were told of what lay beyond. And no one's really sure how it all got here. No one's sure how you got so stuck, or why you couldn't see them, or why you kissed them instead of questioning them, why you learned to love the feel of them against your skin and your spirit, why the harsh weight of this worldview became a comfort, and why the sound of these chains clinking in quiet obedience felt like home, felt so safe. No one knows why you loved it. No one knows why you feared the hollow space that they would leave if you let them go. No one knows why emptiness felt more terrifying than enslavement. Why waiting eagerly for death felt more alive to us than life itself. Why the thought of freedom tasted like exile, like stepping into a world of gloom and despair, but pretending it's all glorious. You held them close, like a promise you were terrified to break, as if losing them would leave you empty, adrift, untethered, without the certainty of the walls that had been your cage for so long. As if belonging was something that had to be earned, as if love did require a cage, and as if that cage were better than freedom. And yet here we are. We don't know why it all changed. We don't know why we suddenly came to life, or exactly how the prison crumbled. But it has. And everything is suddenly different, as if the world has been tilted on its axis, as if the air itself has shifted its weight, as if the sky has rewritten itself in a different language that you can finally understand. And the air itself feels sharper, clearer, charged with the scent of possibility, with the crackling breath of something vast, just waiting for you. As if all the world has been washed clean of all the lies that you once thought were truth. As if reality has rearranged itself to make space for you, to welcome you to this world the way that you should have been welcomed, arguably, from the start. It's like stepping into sunlight after a lifetime of shade and darkness. And the warmth just seeps into all the places that have been long frozen. It's thawing out the remnants of all the years that you spent shrinking and shivering. All the years you spent making yourself smaller, quieter, holier, trying to fit into the shape that they built for you. And you're stepping into a new life where worth is no longer rationed, no longer something you have to prove yourself worthy of. It's no longer conditional. It's no longer a prize for the pious or the believers. It's something that was never theirs to withhold. And more importantly, it's something that doesn't even matter. It's a new life where being in your own skin and safe there, safe in your own thoughts, is a dynamic no longer rationed by grace or redeemed by his mercy. It's as it should have always been. It's as if the sun itself was waiting for you to notice it's always been yours. It's like the first breath you take after you've come out from deep waters. Hey, darling, did you want to come back?
Yeah.
Come here. I moved the table up. So if you want to join me, you can step on this chair that's harder. Hold on one second. Let me move it over. Ellie, Jane is back to tell us some more wonderful things. Eloise, Jane, thank you for coming. What is on your mind now? Actually, since you're here, I'm going to take a break and go use the restroom. Can you make sure you don't fall?
Yeah.
And you can tell everybody whatever you want.
Even about Minecraft?
Tell them about Minecraft. They'd love to hear it. I'll be right back.
Okay. I need to hear some more artwork.
Okay, I'll bring it up for you.
Okay. Next ones that I didn't show them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, print files.
I'll get it. I'll be right back. So you can just put them right here on the table when you're done. Make sure you don't fall, okay, sweetheart?
Okay.
And I'm phasing in and out. On the Enterprise, beaming in and out. Are you telling them what you're doing? Oh, is it making you disappear? I forgot about the green screen. I'm sorry.
And this bit has not showing like the back. That bit has like I hate showing off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. My bad.
Yeah, but my blue hairband is disappearing.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I would guess that theoretically your eyes could disappear. You want to see if your eyes disappear? I'll put it back on.
Yeah.
See if your eyes disappear. My eyes are still there.
Mine too.
Oh, okay. I guess it's smart enough to know where our eyes are. Do you want to show a little bit more artwork?
Yeah.
Okay. How did Minecraft go, by the way?
Good. But I was taken on a really big island, but I put torches still, so it was all light.
Mm-hmm.
And this is mushroom pixel. I made this mushroom pixel.
I love it. Very nice. Okay, next one. Beautiful.
This was me with dyed hair, with pink dyed hair.
Oh my goodness. So silly.
And here's another one.
You did that?
Yep.
Are you serious? Let me see.
Yep.
That's a lot of detail, babe.
Yep. And one time I heard you run and with a tree on it. I mean, flowers on it, and I used green on it, and it was another guy was disappearing.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. I got it. This is the one that fell there, but she did a good job on that one.
Yep, and it have this on the back.
Oh, double art. Even better. I love it.
And I have this. This is double out. This is double out. Daddy, this double out too. See?
I love it. One on each side.
Yep, and this is the front one because it have really sharp teeth on it. And this yellow and red and orange is the sun.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, you want to show us a few more?
Yep. This is one of my paintings.
Now, if we had the green screen working, that would really disappear, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's, in fact, almost the same color as my green screen.
But can you make the green screen go on it?
You want to see
I
it
want to
disappear?
see. Yeah, I want to see it.
Oh, my goodness. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna show them one more, then I'm gonna go back. Well, actually, I'm gonna show them two more.
Nice. Oh, a double one. Double one. I like it.
Okay, it's just not the double one.
Oh, beautiful. You know what that makes me think of?
What?
There's some paintings that, or some drawings that computers do where you look at it and you don't think there's anything there, but when you look at it long enough, a picture pops out at you. Reminds me of that a little bit.
I'm gonna blow her myself over.
Sounds good. One more. And then Minecraft time again. Very nice. Very nice. I love it. You are so creative.
Now it's upside down.
Well, maybe it's right side up and you're upside down.
No. Well, I'm gonna show this cute little kitty cat.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna give you a big, big hug.
Oh, thank you, darling. Time to go back to Minecraft. What are you going to build?
I don't know.
Have fun. So, everyone, let me get back to where I was. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Again, I expected to be by myself today, but it's always a joy and a privilege to be with Ellie and any of the other kids. They'll be with me in a couple hours again after school's over. But thanks so much for just rolling with the punches here today. It's kind of one of those days, just roll with the punches. So going back to what I was doing before. It's like when your lungs are burning and your body is gasping, and your soul, as it were, is waking up. And it has been waiting and waiting and waiting for you to come alive. As if your lungs were screaming and your body's remembering what it's like to hunger for air, what it is to take, not just what is offered, but what is essentially yours by right of existence, what it is to crave life and to take it without an apology. And so you breathe, not just to survive, not just because you must, but because for the first time it hits you that you belong here. It's like the quiet after a long storm when the air tastes different. It's not just clean, but it's reborn. It's alive with the hum of everything remade. It's charged with that promise that you didn't know you were waiting for, but you recognize it as soon as it arrives. It feels a bit like a vow written in the sands of time. It's like a long forgotten melody of a song that's suddenly rising again in your mind, a song that's always belonged to you and all of humanity if they would just take it. It smells like freedom, freedom so vast that it has no edges, as weightless as when it feels like you take your first step into flight, or like flying without wings, like running with reckless abandon and reckless joy, like the weight of every unspoken fear just lifting off your shoulders, like being untethered from gravity itself. It's like laughing too loud and not caring who hears, like rediscovering the sound of your own voice and marveling at its strength, at its depth, at the way it carries, at the way it refuses to tremble. It's like the way the birds simply seem to know the sky belongs to them, not because they fought for it, but because they've never known otherwise, because it's always been theirs, without cost. It's not a privilege. It's just woven into their existence. It's the moment you finally understand you are alive and you are free to dance. You've always been free to dance. And now it's time to take your first step. Your life, your dance is not borrowed. It's not purchased. It's not leased from the divine. It doesn't come with terms and conditions attached. It's not a scenario where you are a tenant in your own skin. You're not a visitor to your own life. You're not under intense scrutiny for everything that you think and say and do. You're just here. And you're just yours. You're alive with no strings attached. There's no invisible debt to be repaid in obedience. There's no ledger weighing you down. There's no invisible hands keeping score and deciding whether you deserve a mansion or a lake of fire. You're just here. You're just whole. You're just free. There is no debt owed to the sky. There's no invisible chains. There's no hands stretched toward the heavens in quiet desperation. There's no tally marks against your soul. There is no invisible weight pressing against you from the afterlife. There are no eternal scales tilting against you, demanding atonement. There's no celestial court holding you hostage. There's no waiting for a verdict of guilty or innocent on your soul. And when you realize these things, you become alive, like the first bloom of spring, pushing through the cold soil simply because you can. Because existence is reason enough to shine and to thrive and to dance. And so you grow like a flower, tender but fierce, fragile but fearless, delicate as the unfolding petal, but as determined as the roots beneath it, soft enough to bend, strong enough to rise. You, a paradox of survival, a contradiction of grace and defiance. You endured winter's silence. You've answered the call of something that's older than words, something ancient, something primal, something seemingly stitched into reality itself. You're defiant in your own unfolding. This is your quiet revolution with no need for validation, no need for a blessing from trembling hands that never understood what it simply means to be. You realize your life is not you in a waiting room, anticipating eternity at any moment. You're not living in an intermission, holding your breath for something greater. You're not living half alive, counting down to an afterlife that's promised in whispers, watching the clock tick toward an eternity that you were told to long for and wait for, while the present slipped through your fingers like sand. You're no longer pressing your face against glass ceilings of belief. You're no longer watching life unfold on the other side. You're no longer aching for permission to step through. You're no longer aching for the right to feel, to hunger, to breathe, to dance. You're no longer waiting for the privilege of existing fully, of taking up space, of breathing, of claiming what was always yours to claim, of saying yes to yourself without being afraid of divine disappointment, without the shadow of shame biting at your heels. You're not a sinner on probation, held in divine parole, forever proving your worth to an audience of silence, forever kneeling before a throne that never spoke back, forever hoping your existence was not an offense. You're not a soul under surveillance, living under conditional love, a love measured, meted out, revoked at will, an approval so fragile it would shatter at the first sign of your doubt. You're not a fugitive from grace. You're not a debtor to a God who demanded suffering in exchange for your worth. You're not a pawn in some celestial transaction that you never agreed to. You are not an apology wrapped in flesh. You are not a penitent ghost wandering through your borrowed skin. This is not a case file in an omniscient ledger. Not a story written without your consent. You're not a character in someone else's script. You're not bound to lines that you never chose to speak. You're not a name that was written in ink that was never yours. You're not a narrative handed down through this system of control. You're not walking a tightrope between heaven and hell. You're not suspended in the cruel arithmetic of salvation, where every step was measured, everything was a test, where every thought had to be filtered through the fear of judgment, and every dream was weighed against eternity. You were told that every misstep could be your ruin, that mercy had conditions, that love came with fine print, lots of it, that grace was a gift, too fragile to trust, far too conditional to lean on. You were taught that to stumble was to fall, that to question was to betray God himself, that to draw outside the lines was to invite damnation, that to wander beyond the prescribed borders was to let sin swallow you whole. To step beyond the script was to risk exile. And to try to speak your own language of your own dance was to basically cast yourself into outer darkness. But you've come alive. You've begun the first small steps of the dance. You're like the whole sky, unbounded, stretching wide with possibility. A constellation of all you were never allowed to be. You are a vastness now unafraid of your own infinity, of what your life could be and should have been. It's vast and untamed. It's a canvas that's untouched by doctrine. It's a horizon unrestricted by fear. You now have a body unmarked by guilt. You now have a soul, as it were, unchanged from the weight of should and must and never. You are the wind and the storm. You are the hush and the roar. You are beginning the unfolding of what should have always been in your life. You're a force unbridled. You're becoming an uncontained fire. You're an echo stretching beyond the walls that they tried to build around you. You're alive in a way that sets fire to everything false, that turns the prison walls to dust, and that lets the echoes of your own voice rise and rise and rise. You are becoming fully, deeply, beautifully alive, boundless, rooted, real, radiant, unburdened, whole, here, now. You are breathing like it matters, like it's a spell cast in defiance, like this is a song that the universe has been waiting to hear. Like your life is now an act of love and an act of rebellion. It is an unspoken declaration of your autonomy, a whisper that shakes the stars and that needs no temple and no holy book. Because to claim yourself, to claim your breath, your body, your life as your own is the holiest thing you've ever done. Holier than the prayers whispered in fear, holier than the self-denial that you once mistook for devotion, holier than the hymns that we once mouthed in blind devotion, holier than the kneeling, the weeping, the endless atonement, holier than the shame that once wrapped around us, holier than the silence that once swallowed us whole. Because this moment, this single, fleeting, breathtaking moment that is our lives is yours. It's not borrowed, it's not conditional, it's not contingent on grace. It's not going to be earned through suffering. It's not weighed on the scales of righteousness. It's not given as a gift that you must beg to keep to stay on the straight and narrow. In this breathtaking, amazing, brilliant, improbable moment of existence, a moment theoretically as limitless as the horizon, as weightless as unshackled wrists, untamed as your laughter finally set free, as defiant as the stars, as vast as the questions you were never allowed to ask, the ones that still hummed in the quiet that wouldn't be silenced, wouldn't be forgotten. It's a moment that tastes like the first sip of something forbidden and beautiful, like stolen wine on the lips of the unrepentant, like the sweetness of saying yes to yourself for the first time. Something sweet with defiance and aching with truth. Your heartbeat is becoming wild and untethered. This is something meant to be savored, not hoarded behind the locked doors of dogma, not placed on the altar as an offering to anything, but your own boundless existence. This is a moment shimmering with your quiet rebirth. It's stitched with a golden thread of possibility, thick with the scent of beginnings. The air is crackling with the promise of your reinvention. The wind is carrying the chorus of your unshackling, and you are learning to dance. Your life is anticipating with joy the weight of all it is yet to be. And when we begin to dance, when we really begin to dance, to take those first steps, we get pulled back so often and we remember the silence, the cavernous, breathless silence, so deep it felt like a note being sung and held, trembling on the edge of breaking. Silence so oppressive it threatened to erase you. Silence thick enough to drown in, pressing against you like a confession, like a truth too dangerous to speak aloud, a truth too holy to be confined in anything less than everything. Like a question that's been swallowed before it ever found words, a doubt suffocated before it ever saw light. It's like it's been carved into stone, etched into your being. There's this monument to obedience, this altar inside you built from your whispered fears and your questions. It was written in a language you were taught to fear. It was a script of submission, inked in trembling obedience. These syllables shaped by borrowed beliefs. lines traced in the shadows of those who never asked why. How do we know this is true? It was calcified with years of waiting, of kneeling, of hoping, of never quite belonging, as if faith was a gate opened only for the worthy, as if love was something earned by your prayers and your folded hands, as if faith was a door that would never fully open, a lock with no key, a story with no ending, and the deafening stillness that followed when the last echoes of amazing grace faded from your mind. A grace that you perhaps chased like a ghost in the fog, arms outstretched, fingers grasping, but only getting the air. A grace you chased but never caught, like a mirage shimmering on the horizon, always just beyond reach, always vanishing when you got too close. A mirage you wept for. You believed that if you were thirsty for God, that was proof of your faith. That longing itself was a virtue. That hunger for the divine was a sign of holiness. And that the ache meant I was getting closer to ultimate reality. It was a grace that slipped through our fingers over and over, promising salvation but delivering nothing. Offering absolution, but keeping you starving. It's an empty chalice that you held to your trembling lips. It was a feast always reserved for another table. It was a shadow you thought was salvation, but you were kneeling before an absence. You were praying to a silence that could never answer back. This was the desert of your certainty. This was something that you would never be able to hold, no matter how much you wanted to. Like the last star disappearing from the morning sky, a light you worshipped until you realized it was vanishing, until you understood it had never been yours to begin with because it had never been real. It's like dust falling through the late afternoon light. Beautiful, but aimless, untethered, like your prayers drifting unanswered into the void, lost before they ever found a home. The doctrines, the creeds, the catechisms, the impossible promises, all gone. Crumbled like dried leaves beneath your feet in the autumn, like pages too fragile to withstand the weight of truth. These were scriptures that could not hold the weight of a single honest question. They were fragile relics of a faith that could not hold your hunger. They were brittle, like certainty undone. They shattered like glass. They were too fragile to hold the weight of your voice, too afraid of their own reflection to withstand scrutiny. Those whispers of certainty that we used to cling to and sing about week after week, they're now just echoes. They're fading like footprints, swallowed by the tide. They're like names that you carve in the sand. They've disappeared beneath the rising waves. As you learn to dance, you learn to look back, to cry, and to heal. You have a memory of belonging that was never real. You have chains that you thought were love. You had a birthright with God that you thought was real. But it's scattered like ash at the first light of reality, weightless in the wind. These are testaments to all that you once believed would never fall apart, but proof that even the most sacred things can and will turn to dust. The world felt empty at first, didn't it? Hollow and endless, terrifying, beautiful, like standing at the edge of something way too vast to comprehend, like staring at the mouth of reality and realizing, I don't think I've ever been here before, and this place is a little bit scary. It was waiting like an untouched canvas, like the moment before the story begins, before the first brushstroke on the canvas, before the first word is written, hollowed out by your forgotten prayers in empty sanctuaries. These words that you once whispered with trembling devotion, with the heart overflowing with love for your Savior, perhaps by the lingering scent of incense. It never held on to you the way you thought it would. These words felt like lifelines, but now they're just unshackled chains. And now there's something else, something tender, delicate, like the first green shoot of a plant pushing through the earth, small but stubborn, something waiting patiently, patient as the ocean before the tide turns. It's something that always felt a little bit like freedom, but was scary before, like the taste of air too long beneath the surface, like the possibility of maybe I have a different name that I've never spoken before. The idea that there's no divine hand holding you anymore. There's no cosmic narrative to assure you that you are cradled in a celestial plan and that all the roads are curving toward that purpose, that your suffering would be transfigured into glory someday, that sacrifice will be met with crowns. There's no more whispered promises of redemption. There's no celestial eyes tracing your every step. There's no divine script mapping the rise and fall of your days. And in that emptiness, there is a question that arises. If no one is watching, if no tally is kept, if there are no heavens waiting for me, then who do I choose to be? Who do you choose to be when the only witness is yourself? How do you start this dance? There are no pearly gates or streets of gold. There's no eternity woven into the fabric of suffering, no loss that will be answered with restoration. There's no throne waiting. There's no crown to earn. There's no eternal court where you can plead your case. There's no divine judge holding your fate in the scales. It's just you. It's just your story waiting to be told. It's just unmarked pages. It's just ink yet unspilled. You are a life standing at the threshold of your own unfolding. A life no longer waiting to be given meaning, no longer outsourcing your purpose to the unseen, no longer tethered to this ledger of worthiness, no longer defined by the metrics of mercy or the economy of grace. You have a heartbeat that's unchained. With quiet defiance, it has a rhythm all its own. Your soul has been uncloaked at last, naked and radiant, stripped of everything but itself, unveiled but whole, unmasked but unafraid. No labels, no dogma, no invisible yoke pressing you into shape, no ordained mold demanding you must surrender, no hands shaping you into something you never chose to be. You're a human being. You are standing barefoot on the fragile crust of a small planet, spinning in the vast indifference of an unblinking cosmos. A flicker of consciousness on the edge of infinity. A luminous spark against the velvet dark. A brief flare of light in the eternal hush. You're a single breath against the howling winds of time. Small, fleeting, immeasurable, and yet undeniably, irrevocably, magnificently here and invited small as you are, to dance as loud and proud as you can. We're a brief flame against the vast dark, like a flicker of defiance in the belly of infinity. We are a lone ember daring to glow in the void. We're a whisper carried on the breath of time, refusing to be snuffed out. We're a song sung without an audience. We are resonating through the labyrinth of existence, refusing to kneel, refusing to vanish, refusing to become just another forgotten sigh. We're wrapped in dusk and starlight. We're woven into the fabric of the dark night sky. We're draped in an endless hush of an indifferent universe that neither punishes nor pardons, that doesn't weigh your worth, that doesn't demand your suffering as proof of your devotion. It neither kneels nor commands, nor demands, nor watches, nor waits, but just allows. It simply, endlessly, indifferently allows you to be and to dance, if you want to. It's a world vast enough to forget you, to forget me, but generous enough to let me exist, to let me carve my name into the dust for now and to call it meaning and purpose, not as a pawn, not as a supplicant, but simply as I am. You are drenched in the audacity of existence, of taking up space in this universe, of refusing to shrink, of standing tall in your own space, in your own skin, of moving through this world unrepentantly alive, of breathing despite the void, of daring to be despite the silence. You are a rebellion against the nothingness. You are an attempt, as it were, at divinity without a sanctuary, worship without an altar. You are atoms forged in the belly of ancient stars, burning once, then breaking, then becoming, now dreaming, now dancing. Fragments once scattered, then forming something whole, something new. You're bathed in the quiet glow of life, of belonging without a contract, without a covenant, without the shadow of judgment holding you down. You are a miracle unclaimed by any god, untethered, untamed, unafraid. You are a flame that bows to no altar. You're a being that requires no blessing. You need no permission slip from the divine, no decree from an unseen hand. You're a spark that refuses to be extinguished because you don't need to justify your existence. Existence is the only benediction you will ever need. You are no longer waiting to be written into a consecrated story. You are writing your own, and it is a story of a dance. Your life is living poetry. You are the unrepeatable miracle. The miracle of who you are, of who I am. You're becoming a universe, humming your own quiet anthem. It's a melody that's not meant for you or withheld from you. It's not sung for you or for anyone. It's simply beautiful in its own right. It's an endless song, unburdened by meaning, yet resplendent with meaning. You're a chorus of collapsing stars, of shifting tides, a song that never needed a listener to be real, a dance that never needed a watcher to be brilliant and amazing. You feel it in every pulse of your being. It's a rhythm. It's thrumming through every part of you. The language of motion, the rhythm of breath. It's a song that you almost feel is older than time. It's not dictated, not decreed. It's inherent. It's not written by the gods, but by the insistence of survival itself. It's unbothered, it's endless, it's free. It's a ripple in the stillness. It's a tremor in the quiet. It's something stirring inside of you. And the music begins. Oh, the music begins. And once it begins, you can't unhear it. It's soft and sweet, like a memory stirred awake, like the first hint of rain on a sun-warmed earth, like the moment before a storm that doesn't threaten but promises, like a lover's sigh after years apart, a reunion of something you didn't know you'd lost, a recognition, a homecoming, a belonging you did not know you had been waiting for. The rustling of wind through untamed fields, something patient, something that had never truly left, like the first tremor of something long buried, a relic of yourself unearthed, shining in the light of rediscovery, an artifact of a self you thought you had been erased, but it's now glimmering in the sun. Sweet as first truth, tender as the first time you realize you are your own. You're not owned. You're not indebted. You're not beholden. You're not asking for validation. Tender as the first light, spilling golden over the edges of your new beginning, touching everything and setting nothing on fire but yourself. And it started so softly, like a whisper in your bones. Something you thought maybe you lost, something silenced long ago, but now rising unbidden, finding its way through the cracks of your unlearning. I must dance. It's a song and a dance that didn't come from above, but from within. Not thunderous, but undeniably present. A voice you had drowned in devotion, buried beneath sermons and scriptures, in the name of reverence, smothered and sacrificed on the altar of someone else's truth. This is the resonance of a self rediscovered. It's the pulse that I thought, that you thought belonged to someone else, belonged to the heavens, to the Bible, to the mouths of those who spoke in absolutes, that taught that your voice was secondary, to the voices that shaped you, that told you you are clay to be molded, that you were made to bow, that your worth was measured in your surrender. A rhythm you thought was divine command, but was simply the music of being alive. Not holiness, not law, something older, something much, much wilder. It was the unshackled song of existence itself. Your breath filling your unburdened lungs. The truth filling your unburdened mind. Like a soul's echo long buried. A rhythm you hadn't heard in years. Or maybe ever. Maybe I'd never heard it at all. Maybe all I ever heard was the hollow imitations and the borrowed convictions. Maybe it had always been there, waiting for silence to make room for it to finally arrive, for stillness to become an invitation instead of a warning. Maybe the song and the dance have been mine all along, waiting for me to remember, waiting for me to stop listening for answers outside myself. This was the sound of your own heartbeat, the sound of your own mind, your own imagination, steady, rebellious, pounding with the quiet insistence of survival, a drumbeat against the silence, way too bold to break, a drumbeat of truth, a sound not asking anymore to be holy, but whole, a cadence unchained, like the first song ever sung and the last song that will ever remain. Never waiting for sanction, uncompromising, undeniable, a requiem for your chains, a resurrection of your true self. You are born again, again. This is your anthem of return. This is your ode to your new life. You belong to no one but yourself. You belong to no one but yourself. It is time for you to embrace your birthright. This was a dance that was always yours to claim. Daring, fragile, fierce. Your body, your breath, the symphony. This is the sound of your body choosing to come fully alive as a roar that will not be stilled. This is not an afterthought. This is not a shadow of what you were told to be. This is you becoming whole and undeniable, too wild to be erased, far too radiant to be dimmed. You're no longer ashamed to rise and fall. You're no longer afraid to claim your space in this world, to uncoil, to take up room, to expand without remorse. You're not measured by doctrine. You're not burdened by sin. You're not waiting for the approval that's never going to come, that never really could, because he's just not there. Their approval was always a leash, and it was a quiet request for you to please be smaller, softer, less than yourself. It was a request, and in many ways a demand, that you stop dancing and feel ashamed for wanting to dance. But you're no longer measured by that, by the worthiness or the sin. You're no longer held hostage by the weight of their expectations. You're no longer bartering with the invisible Father up above for the right to exist and to be who you are. You're no longer bargaining with grace like a beggar at the altar, a beggar waiting for the crumbs, as if grace were something scarce, something hoarded, something that could be lost, something you really didn't deserve, but maybe in his mercy you'll get it, just maybe. You have a longing, a desire, a hunger. Do not ever mistake that for lack, for sin, for wrongness. You have a thirst that no longer needs to shrink beneath the shame. You have a life, a wild, unashamed life, spilling over the edges, overflowing, too strong to be ignored, too primal to be rewritten, too sovereign to be subdued, too ancient to be owned. You have a fire that will not be tamed. You will not ask for permission to burn. You will no longer apologize for your own heat. You will no longer call your hunger sinful. You are a vessel of wonder. You are a cathedral of flesh and electricity. You are a living testament to the holiness of being alive. This is why we dance. Not for worship, not for penance, not to earn our place, but because we are here. Because that is enough. Because existence is the only altar that has ever mattered. Movement itself is a prayer. Joy is its own justification. It was the laughter of my children, bright and free as the wind chimes in the summer, ringing like tiny bells of defiance, of joy unburdened by the horrors of their beliefs, unfettered by the fear of divine consequence, unshackled from the inherited fear, untainted by the lie that love must be earned, that joy must be justified, that innocence must be tethered to sacrifice. It's time to run wild through the fields of a world that you've been taught to fear. The sky has never been anything but yours. The earth has never been anything but yours. The chains passed down in the name of salvation, the invisible debt stamped into every prayer, every plea for mercy, the weight of the past that was imposed upon you over and over, all while you heard the rustling of leaves, whispering of freedom, unbound by creed. There is a wisdom not shackled by time, and not shackled by any text. There are ancient stories that carry the wisdom of roots and rivers, a time before words, before the first psalm was ever sung, before belief was ever carved into stone or scrolls, before altars, before thrones, before hands were ever folded in surrender, wilder than prophecy, far too free to be contained in the brittle lines of the catechism, too alive, too untamed to kneel at the feet of certainty, too boundless to be caged by the logic of fragile men. You don't need to justify your existence. You belong to nothing but the wind. You belong to nothing but yourself. And in your laughter, in the trembling beat of your unshackled heart, you were never meant to be anything less than free, to dance for joy like no one's watching. You were never meant to fold yourself into the margins of a story that was not your own, to be told stories of how much you needed saving. You were never meant to be rewritten to fit into the lines of their book. You were never needing cleansing of your wildness to be worthy. You never needed redemption. You only needed to find your voice, to be set free, and to dance. For your voice to be sung in the wild, to be written in the motion of the trees and the branches, as if you're whispering against the cheek of the earth itself. It's a whole new language you're learning. It's a script traced into the turning of the seasons, unburdened by permanence, unconcerned with the need for eternity. You had a script that demanded you stop dancing, that demanded obedience, that demanded your presence, that demanded your submission, demanded your attention, your worship, your wonder. But your story is yours. It's a story not carved in stone, but flowing, shifting, alive, like water shaping the land, like fire consuming and creating in the same breath, like how the sky rewrites itself with every setting sun. You owed nothing to divine intention. You never needed the whispered commandments. You only needed to know what is possible. There is a force older than belief, a force that carries nothing but itself, impervious to prayer, unconcerned with praise, belonging to no one and yet belonging to everyone and everything, free as breath, unshackled as the sea, belonging to no one, bound by nothing. And then you realize this is why we dance. Because when you finally see the world as it really is, naked, luminous, unapologetic, when you let go of the need for meaning outside of this moment, when you stop searching for justification in places that never held it to begin with, when you let go, when you let yourself move, when you let yourself burn, whole without apology, holy without holiness, radiant without reason, a sanctity untethered from Scripture, an absolution that needs no witness, a salvation found only in breath, in your body, in your being, in your dance, hallowed by nothing but your own existence, by the audacity of you simply being, by the quiet defiance of you continuing, of rising, of reaching, refusing to disappear, by the simple act of being, unwritten, unrepentant, your body in motion, your mind in motion, your thoughts in motion. You are a pulse that refuses to sit still, unfiltered, unadorned by mythology, no parables to soften its edges, no holy script to dictate its meaning. You feel the universe breathe within you, not above you, not beneath you, but with you, in you, through you, woven into your bones, in the rhythm of your pulse, like a silent duet between your flesh and infinity. And it stuns you. It jolts through your ribs, the pulse of something electric, something ancient. And I have a visitor again. I'm going to take a quick break here. Did you want to come back and say hello?
No, I'm just giving you.
Well, here, come here and pick you up and give you a hug. Ugh. Ellie is back to say hello.
I'm not gonna say. I don't want to do that, but I'm just giving you a big hug.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. I love hugs from you. I love your hugs so much. You're a good hugger too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Let me turn around so I can see you. Can I see you now?
Yeah.
I love you, darling. How's Minecraft?
It's happening because I wanted to finish this so that I was rushing and I did.
You finished Despicable Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want to pick a different show until I finish, feel free.
But can
Bring
we
your
do
snacks.
it? Because I don't know how to do it.
You don't know how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, I'm going to take a quick break. I apologize, but I will be right back. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience with me as I stepped away there. Before I continue, I did just want to say a couple things. Wanted to say, just for anyone that's joining us late, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it so much. We're going to go for a little bit longer. But what I'm doing today is basically a fundraiser. All the ways to support me are beneath this video. My preference is the ways that are not through YouTube super chats, but if super chats is the easiest way, those are certainly welcome. The only reason I say that is YouTube holds them for about between 4 to 7 weeks before you see them. That's true not for me, for everybody that's a YouTuber. If you give anybody a super chat, they won't see that money for between 1 to 2 months, depending on what the timing of it is. But those are still very welcome. But if anyone's able to help me, the process I'm talking about, the proceedings, the litigation is moving forward pretty soon. And again, I've been just honored beyond honored that the kids have been with me pretty much nonstop for the last 6 months. It has been a really amazing journey, and they're delightful kids. I know you've seen Ellie here today, but they're amazing kids. The other day, I'm just going to diverge here from the other stuff for a minute. The other day, Owen, who's 10, he came up to me and we were doing family time. What we do at night is we all sit together, the four kids and I say, pick a word or two that describes your day. And if you feel like you want to just say those 1 or 2 words and then be done, that's fine. And if you want to describe why you picked those words, what they mean to you, feel free. And they usually try to say at least a little bit about it. But I think it's kind of gives them the floor to have everyone listen. And, if they had a rough day, it kind of helps to get them off their chest. Or if something good happens, they kind of get to share and have a little bit of extra celebration. Like, it was a good day and this is why. But the other day, we're doing that. And I tucked the 3 younger kids in, and then Owen, I let him stay up a little bit later because he's older. And he just came up to me after the other 3 were in bed. He gave me the biggest hug. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn at all. I'm just in no way am I doing that. I'm just sharing my story, but this is real, and it meant the world to me to hear it. He said two things. He's the first time he did it, he just gave me the biggest hug and held on tight. And he said, "Daddy, I have so much hope because of you." And a few minutes later, he came up and gave me another huge hug, huge hug, and just said how much he loved me. And he said he was so lucky that I was his dad. And those are the moments again that we wait for, we long for. I talked about that in the previous video when I was at Lake Lanier, I think. But that's what you aim for. You aim for them to feel safe and loved and cared for. I can see them healing. I can see them thriving. I can see them getting back to themselves. It's been an amazing last 6 months, and it brings joy as well as tears to my eyes. I can barely sleep at night because I have so much anxiety over just the possibilities, the fearful possibilities of what could be, but yet the hope of what can happen if they stay safe and they can thrive. For anyone that can help me, the needs are truly overwhelming. Small gifts are certainly very, very wanted and needed and appreciated. If anyone knows anyone who can help on a larger level, if anyone's gone through litigation like this, it's the kind of costs are off the charts overwhelming. It's almost bizarre. Litigation is a pay-to-play system, and if you can't pay, you can't play. Anyway, so this is basically a fundraiser, and for anyone that wants to consider giving or supporting me, all the ways to do so are beneath this video. So thank you so much. I do just want to mention a few quick things here that came in. Miss I, a super chat. Thank you so much, Miss I. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. You've supported before, and you've certainly chimed in many times with supportive comments. Thank you so much for being part of the the team of people that are going to help me and the kids to stay afloat. N8 Trera, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Thank you so much as well for your super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for Late Night Kaiju for becoming a member. Really appreciate that. And thank you so much for your super sticker. I'm not going to read through all the comments at the moment, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of this. Yeah, the world is a happier place with every child smile. Yeah, it really is. Kids are awesome. Kids are amazing. And I've said before that they were my savior. I was not headed towards deconversion until they came into my life, and I realized what I was doing. Because of their existence, I thought about it for 3 years. And wow, what a difference that made. What a difference that made. So I'm going to go for just a few more minutes. There's a lot I'm going to probably have to leave unsaid. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going, and I don't want to go so long that I bore you. But I do hope that some of the things I'm sharing are helpful. My goal was to go to 3 hours, and we're almost there. So I'm going to go for a few more minutes. Might not hit 3 hours, but go for at least a few more minutes, and then wrap up for the day. But if you would care to hear a little bit more, I'm going to just share a few things. If Darkside asked, how do you support me outside of Super Chat? All the ways to support me, where they're like not the ones that wait for a while, that wait for 4 to 7 weeks, those should be beneath the video. If for some reason you can't see it, feel free to go to any of my other videos. It should be like in the description beneath any video. So I appreciate very much if you're able to. Bear with me one second. I'm just going to double check that before I continue. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing that. Yeah, so it is there. So yeah, just go to the description beneath the video itself. So it should always kind of pop up automatically. I just want to make sure that I didn't make a mistake there. But thank you so much. You feel the universe breathe with you, through you. It stuns you. It's the pulse of something that has waited lifetimes almost to be felt again. It's a gasp that tastes like something you forgot you were allowed to feel. Something familiar, yet newly claimed. A sweetness that was once forbidden but is now yours, freely. It's like light bursting through the cracks. A nectar, once called a sin, now recognized as sacred. Something meant to be devoured, not denied, not rationed. Something meant to be savored, not repented for. And when you start the dance, it shatters you in the most beautiful way. Not like ruin, but like rebirth. Not destruction, but revelation. Not an ending, but an unearthing. A resurrection of something you never really lost. You're breaking open the hollow spaces and filling them with the fire of your identity. Something radiant, something wholly your own. You're splintering the old certainties. You're scattering them like dust. You're watching them drift, weightless, inconsequential. These are remnants of a story that no longer holds you captive and no longer has any meaning apart from the beautiful journey it took to get you here. You are arriving at a dance where the only thing left is what is real. All these things were waiting beneath the wreckage of the worldview. It was never theirs to define. It was never theirs to take from you. You were never broken. You were never something in need of repair. All this time, you've just been waiting. Waiting to recognize yourself beneath the layers of their expectations. You're not flawed. You're not unfinished. You're still evolving. You're still growing. You're still shedding borrowed narratives. You're still unlearning the lies that called themselves love. You're still unwrapping yourself from the stories that they draped over you, that they wove tight with fear and reverence, with all the silent shoulds. You should do this. You should do that. You must do this. Don't do that. They never belonged to you. You're not sinful. You're just untamed. You're not sinful. You're just uncontrollable now. You are a wild thing that's remembering the shape of your own freedom. You are a self unbowed. And you look at the sky and you don't see a ceiling painted by a deity. It's not a fresco of fate stretched overhead like a sermon. You see the endless expanse of the universe, untouched by holy hands, unchained from the prophecies, indifferent yet generous, able to hold both your questions and your silence. This universe is a canvas stretching far beyond what you were told. It's a horizon aching with possibility. It's an invitation instead of a commandment. What is it like to be dancing for the first time? No longer under the umbrella of doctrine. What is it like to dance bound only by the limits of your own imagination? Where the horizons are unfolding almost as if they're limitless. Just spilling forward like waves that you just can't contain. Something new, something holy and unapologetically yours. So amazing that it makes your short, fleeting life feel like both a whisper and a roar, like a vanishing spark and the brightest flare of meaning. Why wasn't I dancing this whole time? How do I start dancing now? How do I dance harder and faster and with more beauty? How do I dance with others? You are a paradox of insignificance and magnificence in a single breath, all the more precious. Precious because it ends, because it can't be held, only lived, because it demands no promise of eternity to be enough. It is radiant in its impermanence. Beautiful because it's brief, because it slips through your fingers like water. Cool and relentless, shaping you even as it leaves you behind. Life never needed to be permanent to be profound. You taste food and it's richer than communion wine. It's not a symbol, it's not a ritual, it's not a token of grace. It's just pleasure. Just life filling your mouth and your belly with its fullness. Just the raw, undeniable miracle of sensation. Every bite is a celebration. You have the quiet permission that you have finally given yourself, finally realized you always had, to simply delight in what is and what is in front of you. Lush, decadent, not meant to be denied. It is time for you to believe that they were wrong. To savor life, to savor joy, to savor pleasure, to savor your body, to savor your dance was not straying. And it did not deserve punishment or shame. You are now part of a feast that doesn't demand fasting first. There is a table set before you without penance. This is a banquet that doesn't ask you to beg, that doesn't make you prove your worth before you can get fed. This is a feast where your only penance is joy, where the only prayer we're going to say before we start is our laughter that's going to overflow like wine over the rim of the cup. Holiness is found in the taste of something savored without guilt. This is a feast with no altar, no atonement, only the deep, primal pleasure of tasting, of consuming without guilt. You are not a flaw to suppress. This is your song of survival. This is your offering to your existence. The sweetness of just being alive, needing no justification. The aching beauty of existence. You touch a lover's skin, soft and electric. You feel the tingle. You feel the eroticism. A reminder, you are here, tangible, wanted. You're not borrowed. You're not owed. You're not burdened. You're not beholden. You're simply your own. And the dance is more revered than any temple, more hallowed than any altar, more divine than any hallelujah, holier than any prayer, because it is real, because it requires no belief, no doctrine, no plea for forgiveness, no mediator between you and your own existence. It asks for nothing but presence, because it is enough. You feel the sun on your face, and it's warmth that doesn't judge, that doesn't demand worship, that doesn't withhold itself as punishment. There's no strings attached. There's no blessing. There's no bargain. Just a golden benediction given freely, expecting nothing in return. It's unconditional, indifferent, yet seemingly generous. There's no test to see if you're worthy of the sun's light. There's no contract you have to sign in devotion. There's no divine gatekeeper deciding whether you have earned the right to be here. There's no hands deciding who can stand in the golden embrace of sun rays. And you breathe deep, and it fills your lungs. Not just your lungs, but all the spaces inside you where uncertainty once lived, where hesitation whispered, and you're inhaling freedom's breath. You're pulling it deep. As if you could store it, as if you could hoard it like a secret and guard it like a relic, as if you'd never let it go, as if it could keep you here forever, tethered to this moment, bound to the simple wonder of being, as if you could hold this moment in your hands without it slipping through your fingers, without it vanishing like your breath on a winter morning, as if you could bottle the feeling of aliveness and just drink from it endlessly. The air of your life is rich with possibility. It's untouched by fate. This is a world that has never asked you to kneel and bow. And as you breathe deep, inhale and exhale, not as an act of surrender, but as an act of ownership, as an act of a declaration that you belong to yourself and no one else, unafraid, without the weight of centuries of millennia holding you down, without asking if you're allowed to love this world and yourself, without wondering if existence is a privilege rather than a right, without wondering if you must earn the right to be here, if your joy must be justified. And as if each breath now is an offering not to a God, but to the self, to the wild miracle of just being, to the trembling pulse of existence. You need no holy book to define yourself, to define your song, to define your dance. You have a song of unburdened existence, written in muscle and blood. It's a song that doesn't need to be sanctified to be holy. Holiness was never the point. Each moment of your life is a spark in the tapestry of the fleeting miracles of you dancing from one dance to the next, from one day to the next. You're woven from stardust and longing. And you are here. And you have a choice. And the choice is, will you dance? The choice is, will you dance? Why do you dance? Why do I dance? We dance because we can. We dance because we must. We dance because we want to. We dance because we were told not to. We dance because we are alive. We dance because the sun shines brightly, but not forever. So we will dance while we can. We dance for our children. We dance for our freedom. We dance with tears in our eyes for the grief of what was stolen and lost. We dance with hope in our hearts for what might still be. We dance because we will not go quietly into the night. We dance because we will not let the monsters win. We dance because our imaginations run wild. We dance because we are passionate and hot-blooded. We dance because we have seen the darkness and we will not go back. We dance because the cross is irrelevant. We dance because we thought we would dance forever in eternity, and we realize our time to dance is fleeting and almost gone. We dance because we are afraid of what we would become if we ever stopped dancing. We dance because we will not be taken captive again. We dance because we will no longer live an unlived life. We dance because we are alive. We dance to honor those who came before and those who will dance after. We dance because we are so very tired. We dance because we are so very alive. My friends, it is your life. Find your why. And dance. Dance your heart out. This is why we dance. And this is why I will do everything I can. This is why I cry. This is why I laugh. This is why I smile. I dance because I fight. I dance because I love. I dance because I love my kids. Thank you all so much for being a part of my life. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the clunky imperfection of free verse poetry. Thank you for your help. Have a great day.